Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hivemind StarCraft 2 tournament. My name is Evolution Gaming Woodhouse, and I am here with another match from the losers bracket. And after I got my technical difficulties sorted out, everything is going well now. So without any further ado, let's take you right into the game. This game, I shouldn't say this week's game, because there's been a lot of them played this week, but this game is being played between Laserdrill and Ymihere. So we see Ymihere spawning on the top right-hand side of MLG Shakira's Plateau, our starting map for week number 3, and spawning over on the top right side we have our blue Zerg player Laserdrill, and we see these two players just going to go ahead and have some nice chatter here right at the beginning. It's always good to see that, as long as it's not BM, because then you know what happens if you BM is the caster has to BM you, or you know, that's kind of the made up rule that we've had for this entire this entire event. So again, both players just playing. Right now, it's actually kind of hard to tell. They're just both playing fairly standard, as you can tell. Uh-oh. False sense of security, maybe? Just recently? Oh! Like I said, it's just some more playful banter. You can tell this is the MLG version, or actually any tournament version, by the neutral supply depots down here, and forced non-spawn close by ground. Excuse me. So we do just see Ymihere. He did go for the pylon on the low ground, so we're gonna have to see if that leads into some Forge fast expand, 2-gate fast expand, stuff like that. We do see he did also block his opponent's natural expansion. So what this is going to do is it does force Laserdrill to go pool first, and then he does opt to go ahead and get the gas. And I guess I shouldn't say force anymore, because there are times when a Zerg player will see this happen and their instinct is to go expand like right there. And it looks actually like Laserdrill is going to use that idea to his advantage, but the probe from Ymihere does not see that go out. That could be huge. Is he going to take it? Yes, he is. Something the Protoss players are actually going to have to start becoming more increasingly aware of is that Zerg players are taking these proxy naturals and actually coming out of base ahead once they do destroy this pylon here. Pool for our Zerg player is done. We do see the Forge and the oh my god, did he go Nexus first? It looks like, let's see, 44. He did. He went Nexus first. That's a pretty ballsy move, I'm not even going to lie. You see players like Huck do things like this, but usually not against a Zerg opponent. Huck usually goes Nexus first against things like Terran. You're taking advantage of the fact that Terrans like to turtle in their base for a little while, and he's actually exploited it to be like that. We do see the cannon for Ymihere going down right now as well, and the first gateway. So really, when everything comes down to it, it does look like Ymihere will be slightly ahead, as this hatchery will finish a few seconds later. But then we also go up here and look at the drones, and it does look like Ymihere doing the mass Q in action. Don't know how I feel about that, but we're going to have to see how everything plays out. This pylon is going to go down for Ymihere. Laserdrill, very correctly, just taking the extra base to get where he wants to be. We do see the Queen for Laserdrill also trying to take the slow, arduous trudge down here to this base. And why am I here correctly? Just going to go ahead and wall that off. Either you can do it either with another pylon that's placed up here and then a cyber core, or just like you did with the pylon down here on the bottom. Just continuing to build probes and stuff, getting double gas in this main now. Pretty standard stuff to this point. The Queen finally does make it over here to this expansion, where one drone is just happily mining away on the soft creep. No gas being mined now, but we do have ling speed just about done for Laserdrill. So pulling the very Idra-esque style of getting just as much gas as you need and then pulling right off, and we do see the third go down for him as well. Ymihere is now completely walled off. Packing down a couple more gateways. And looks like he's just continuing to build probes. Is on double gas now, so he will start getting a nice influx of gas here shortly to build Dem sentries and stalkers and other high-tech units in the Protoss army. Interesting path for both of these players, actually. And if you haven't checked that out, we do see the Roach Warren going down now. Sorry for the interruption in thought there, but we did just see the Roach Warren go down. But if you haven't gone and looked at the brackets for the Hivemind to begin with, I would highly suggest doing so. It's been kind of a long trip for some of these players. One of these two will have an even longer trip on the road to our LAN, which will be played on April 14th, and that's where the finals, the winners and losers bracket, will play each other. And then we will also have our grand finals played one match after that. So we will actually have our 4th through 1st place decided at that LAN. We do see now this Zealot. Is he going to come down? Is he going to scout? He has to think something tricksy is going on here. But we are going to have to see. We do see the Zealot coming down here now. Is going to see the creep spread coming out of that base. So he does in fact know that there's a 3rd base here. He doesn't know how long it's been up though. But he's going to decide to chase those down, do a little bit of the Ling damage, getting surrounded and easily picked off by these Lings. Another probe coming down here to probably scout or place the proxy pylon. It does look like it's going to go ahead and place the proxy. Level 1 upgrade's just about done now. Another gateway, so that brings his total gateway count up to 6. Is this going to be some sort of 6-gate all-in? Whoa. What's whoa, buddy? Whoa, buddy. Pylon never did get down. That is too bad. And the Overlord just did pop. Supply blocking laser drill. See a Twilight Council. So it does look like he is going to go for some 6-gate, probably blink play. At this point, yeah, that's a lot of stalkers being morphed in. Is he going to go for the level 1 armor? It doesn't look like it. We do see not such a, well, kind of a sizable army here out of laser drill. It'll definitely be enough to hold off this push. A lair going down now for our Zerg opponent, as well as 4 roaches in production. And the line of spine crawlers getting thrown down. Very, very standard for Zerg players now, and these 2 stalkers are going to get picked off and surrounded. These Zerglings, though, the Zergling count is diminishing, but more Zerglings running in. Now we do see the spine crawlers about half done. I don't think they're going to get done in time for this push, and why am I here just content to back off now, which is a very smart move because you don't want to try to engage the Zerg player on creep because it just makes it really, really easy for that player to surround you. More stalkers now joining up. The spine crawlers are about done, but it looks like why am I here just going to run right around them. We do see all of those finish at the same time. Why am I here trying to avoid the surround, but it does look like he is going to get surrounded. And as we do see a bunch of those units getting lost now, we do see 22 Zerglings in production still and 4 more roaches as the remainder of these stalkers do try and run away for their lives. We did see 5 sentries warped in as well and another Zealot. 2 more stalkers being warped in now in the main. 100 supply to 57 now of laser drill to his opponent. Still see no upgrades coming out of laser drill at this point, but we do see a fairly big army just continuing to control the map out here, making sure that his opponent doesn't try and hide any proxy pylons. We did see the 3rd for Why Am I Here go down as well, but it does look like it is going to get scouted by laser drill. Supply now 102 to 63. Now the question is he going to let this Nexus tank? Yep. Not nearly as much damage as I think he would have liked to have tanked on that Nexus before canceling, but he does do that, and he doesn't cancel the assimilator. So that is 75 minerals. He is out on that exchange. Plus whatever the cancel value is, my bad. Apparently my scoreboard overlay isn't working, but this is the first game of this series, so it is 0-0 still. 4th base for laser drill going down now, and the creep spread just continuing. He could try and actually probably do a creep highway up to his opponent's front. It does seem like Why Am I Here is just content to sit back in his base and do just the mass macro action, which is not always a bad thing. But with Zerg, it's very important to be proactive about knowing when and where your opponent has expanded to, so that way they don't end up owning 3/4 of this map on you. You see the small army for Why Am I Here. Actually, it's not very small at all. It's pretty sizable in comparison. Level 1 upgrades are done for them. Level 1 carapace now on the way for laser drill, excuse me. Laserdrill just continuing to hold some map control. If we look over here, he doesn't hold the top Zelnaga Tower anymore. The third for Ymihere is going to attempt to be replanted. Very, very smart move to keep trying to take that base. It's important to win the war of attrition, so to say. And the creep spread from Laserdrill is continuing. The army from Ymihere just going to stay out here in the middle to try and protect. You see that this is actually a fairly short protection distance for both. Yeah, you might get a ling run by, but it's pretty easy to block if you're doing everything correctly. We do see an observer finally coming out now for Ymihere. More roaches and mutas actually in production now for Laserdrill. Still has not connected these two bases by creep. I would like to see that, whether it be by macro hatch or something else. That fourth base also is operational right now. The Mutalisks are out now for Laserdrill as well. 148 to 112 the supply. We do see the flock of Mutar going to... Is he trying to magic box these? I think he is. Or he's just waiting for that. And they are spotted by the observer, though. This is going to be a definite indication. And the diversion has worked. We see the Lings running into the third now of Ymihere. And the Muta's coming up here to the top. This could be catastrophic. He does have some stalkers back here to protect, though, but they're out of position. And they're going to actually block off their friendly stalkers by just literally being in the way. It does look like he is attempting to clean this up, but I don't think he's going to get it before the Nexus goes down. And oh, this is a very frustrating position for Ymihere to be in. While he does manage to kill off all of these Lings that are here, he does lose the Nexus for a second time. We do see two Templar Archives and a Robo support bay going up here as well, and it does look like he is going to attempt at least to take this base again. Did we see any more Muta action? I don't think so. I think the Mutas, yes, the Mutas just came home. We do see 14 Lings and 8 more Roaches to add to this already fairly sizable army. The Queen's continuing just to poop out those creep tumors up here so that they can continue to make the creep highway over here to Ymihere's base. An Archon being formed now. I don't know where that Archon is. Alright, there's the Blueberry. And a High Templar out here now as well. He has not researched Storm, though, which could be very, very beneficial for him in terms of protecting his base from Mutalisk harassments and other things like that. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this actually does play out. The Muta's going to come down here, and this is going to get spotted. He does have one more Warp Gate and 2 more Forges up here. Fantastic. And the Muta are going to spot it, and they're going to just go ahead and pick off that probe and continue. They, yep, try and pick off Artosis himself, but oh, and a good blink underneath the Muta. Is he going to lose all those Muta? He loses a good chunk of those Mutalisks in that exchange. That was actually a pretty bad exchange for our Zerg player Laserdrill. He is still way ahead in supply, though, so at this point it really doesn't matter. He can replenish that army almost at whim. He can do a 300 food push if he needs to, and the creep spread just continuing to work its way across the map. Army of Ymihere is actually just kind of... Oh, and here we have the engagement. Oh, no! Attack of the Move command coming back to bite Ymihere right in the butt. He does blink back, but he is exposing that one Immortal, and all of the sentries are going to go down. They're getting picked off in the front. One Archon down. And incorrectly... Oh my god, this is huge. This is a huge loss for Ymihere. The supply is 100 against him right now. 196 to 97 of Ymihere. These Roaches going to go ahead and burrow just to get the extra health before they come in here and probably deal the death blow to our Protoss player. You see this third finally now up and running, but it is... I almost want to say this is too little too late. Very, very good positioning here by Ymihere, protecting this from the Zerg player. And now actually let the rally begin. As you can see, the Roach rally has started. We are getting a few Corruptors in there. He does know that there's a robotic support bay, but we have yet actually to see a Colossi in production. These Roaches going to run... going to actually force the Protoss player to abandon his position, and the blink away puts him way out of position. That was a terrible move by Ymihere. Laserdrill's just going to come up here and take out this Nexus for going on a 4th time. That Colossi going to get a few hits in, but it might be too little too late. We do see the Corruptors and the Mulus coming out here. 1 meter down. The blink back to protect those Colossi, which are oh so important right now. And a few free stalkers to go to the charity fund here of Laserdrill. DC level 2 upgrades on the way. Level 1 shields and armor. Right now, 2-1 upgrades on our Zerg player Laserdrill. Another Colossi out on the field, so that brings the count up to 2. But like I said, this might be too little too late. The supply right now is at 200 to 104. I actually don't think there's any, unless there's a miracle into a base race, I don't think there's much that Ymihere can do about this. We do see the 2 extra expansions getting thrown down now for our Zerg player Laserdrill. And oh my god, exposed Corruptors getting a couple of free Corruptor kills. Oh my god. And it does look like Ymihere getting fed up with just waiting around, going to let that section of buildings fall, and he's going to push right in here to his opponent's base. But these 4 spine crawlers are going to cause a slight roadblock and cause a speed bump. And actually, Ymihere opting just to kind of walk by, but oh, those Colossi are so exposed in the back. This is going to be horrible. Those Colossi are the first things target down as well, and we do see the blink up. Oh my god, leaving the Zealots completely exposed as well, and those 2 Colossi are going to get away with their lives, but just barely. Blinking up into the main base, taking out as many buildings as he can. I don't know how this is going to end, actually. This is kind of the move that I was talking about where he said forget it, but we do see the corruption going down on those 2 Colossi. There is not a whole lot he can do now. The roaches are here. There's no room for him to back up anywhere, and even if he does, his supply is down so far. He does manage to escape with a few stalkers. But we do see 2 more bases up now for our Zerg player Laserdrill, and not that much more production coming out now for Ymihere. He is on double robo now, which is actually pretty standard for this point in the game. Both players just continuing to macro up around each other and to make sure that they have exactly the compositions they want. And at this point, Laserdrill also at a very, very comfortable lead. We do see the Broodlords out now. This is going to be the nail in the coffin for Ymihere in this game, as we do see the slow push from the Zerg player, as we've seen from Jelly in the past, and we've seen from Laserdrill actually in the past as well. We see the slow push starting its way across the map, knowing that this is not worth his time now. Going up to the front, we do see, and the mantra goes, kids, when behind, insert Dark Shrine. There's the army coming up here just to continue to clear out some of those buildings, realizing that there's nothing up there, but we do have 2 very, very exposed Broodlords here and the army of roaches. Okay, there we go. He does manage to protect those Broodlords a little bit and let the siege begin for our Zerg player Laserdrill. Continuing to pick off units. I would say expect a GG at any point now. There's not really a whole lot Ymihere can do, and Laserdrill just content to back up again and reform, refile his ranks. We do see some of the Broodlords coming up here now. The Broodlords are going to start the slow siege. The roaches here to protect from any sort of a blink under. And the Broodlings are just going to start to go to work on this base. 197 to 75 supply now. Like I said earlier, if it was going to be anything but a miracle, I would be seriously surprised. It would have taken a major miscue from Laserdrill to actually drop this game at this point. A very, very heroic effort by our Protoss player Ymihere, though. He did go for the Naniwa style Forge Fast Expand or Die, going Nexus first, being very, very risky, but it did manage to pay off for a little while. We do see the army just continuing to clean everything up, and the GG comes out from Ymihere. And as we see in that game, like I said, we saw a very, very early, potentially greedy play from Ymihere that paid off for the short term, but he also let his opponent continue to just take out the map. So with that, guys, that is game number 1 of this series. I will be back with you in game number 2 here in a couple minutes. Stay with me.